Good evening, friends. Today we discuss the inner product space, BSc final year topic, unit number 5. Before that, I introduce myself, Dr. Samir Deshputre, Assistant Professor, Government College, Arjunda. हम इस इनर प्रोडक्ट स्पेस के बारे में इस वीडियो के माध्यम से जानेंगे। इनर प्रोडक्ट स्पेस होता क्या है, इनकी कौन कौन सी गुणधर्म या प्रॉपर्टीज हैं और ये किस तरीके से उपयोगी है। सबसे पहले हम इनर प्रोडक्ट स्पेस को डिफाइन करें तो लेट हियर कैपिटल X एंड कैपिटल Y आर टू वेक्टर्स, दो सदिश राशियां हैं। where capital X is considered x1 and x2, that is it is the point on two dimension, and capital Y is where y1 and y2 it is point on two dimensional space. Now we find out the inner product of xy. This is the inner product of xy. It is nothing but it is your scalar product of these two vectors, like that, this type. Then this is equal to x1 into y1 plus x2 into y2. इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि यदि हम कोई दो सदिश राशि लें किसी भी विमाय पे, अगर हम उनका आंतर गुणनफल या इनर प्रोडक्ट कैलकुलेट करें तो इनर प्रोडक्ट एक सदिश राशि होती है। मीन्स हम लोअर क्लास की थ्योरी के हिसाब से देखें तो किसी दो सदिश राशियों का गुणनफल एक अदिश राशि, मीन्स यहाँ पे डॉट प्रोडक्ट के रूप में हम अपनी संख्या को निरूपित कर रहे हैं। दैट मीन्स इट इज योर डॉट प्रोडक्ट ऑफ दिस टू वेक्टर्स। नाउ we discuss the one by one property. Before that, we take very simple example. If suppose x is 1 comma 1 and y is supposed to be 2 comma 3, they are the points on two dimension. Now we find out the inner product of xy according to this formula. This is 1 comma 1, then next is 2 comma 3. Then we solve the first coordinate multiplied by first, 2 plus 3, that is equal to 5. ये जो 5 है, that 5 is the inner product of these two vectors here. So we generate some property with this example, very simple properties. First, we observe that the inner product of x comma y is greater than or equal to 0. That is, it is your non-negative. एक ऋणात्मक नॉन नेगेटिव क्वांटिटी मीन्स हमेशा एक धनात्मक राशि हमको प्राप्त होगी, पॉजिटिव क्वांटिटी, एंड दिस इज इनर प्रोडक्ट इज 0. इनका मान 0 के बराबर होगा यदि केवल और यदि x is equal to y. If and only if x is equal to y. This is our first property. The second property, if we multiplied any scalar by x, then it is your k times x comma y. Obviously, suppose this vector is multiplied by 2 here, then resultant will be changed here 2 times. So this is our basic property. So for the inner product we need vector and we compute the dot product of this vector, then resultant is your scalar. It is called inner product space in general, in short. Now, so our requirement, we need the vector. So first of all, we consider vector space. Let here VF be a vector space over the field capital F. The field is supposed to be R, supposed to be C. एक हमने सदिश समिष्टियां ली किसी दिए हुए क्षेत्र पर, जहां पर क्षेत्र जो है वो या तो वास्तविक संख्याओं का समुच्चय होगा या समिष्ट संख्याओं का समुच्चय. Then inner product is a function from V cross V to F. It is your function. This symbol is called inner product, and dot denotes two vectors because here we take V cross V, जहां पर पहला अवयव यहाँ का होगा और दूसरा अवयव यहाँ का होगा. The first vector from this set and second vector from this set here. Okay. Satisfy the some axioms or properties. The first one is the inner product of x comma y is greater than or equal greater than 0, non-negative. It is your non-negative, and this is equal to 0 if and only if the x it is equal to y. The non-negativity is true here. Second is, if we take a alpha plus b beta comma gamma, then this is equal to a times inner product of alpha gamma plus b times inner product of beta gamma, where a and b are the members of field and alpha and beta gamma elements of vectors. सदिश समष्टियों के अवयव है. Now third property is, that property is called linearity, रैखिकता गुणधर्म. Linearity. The third property is inner product of alpha beta, it is equal to beta comma alpha conjugate. That is called conjugate symmetry. Conjugate symmetry. So we have three important properties: the non-negativity, linearity, and conjugate. So any vector space together with this is called inner product space. That is called the inner product space. So what is our requirement? We need a vector space and satisfy these three axioms. Then we say that the given space is a inner product space here. Now we come to some basic properties of the inner product space. Some basic properties of the inner product space are some. We conclude the some. We have some remarks. Our first remark is, if your underlying field is R, that is your set of real number. Set of real number. Then conjugate symmetry, that is alpha beta, it is equal to beta comma alpha bar, which is equal to beta alpha, because conjugate symmetry implies the symmetry property when f is R. conjugate symmetry property एक symmetric property हो जाती है जब हमारा f जो है वो set of real number हो जाता है. लेकिन यदि f हमारा set of complex number हो, तब उस केस में conjugate property true होती है. That is, this is true. Next property, यदि हमने zero कोई element लिया, if we take zero is any element, like that zero belongs to Bf, that is zero vector, then inner product of 0 comma beta, this can be written as 0. It is always 0, where beta is any element of Bf. Beta is any element of Bf. Now the third property is, if you are taking the third property like this type, the inner product of A alpha comma beta, it is equal to A inner product of alpha beta. It is very simple. It is very simple. How we can prove that this property? By linearity. Suppose we have A alpha plus B beta gamma, which is equal to A times alpha gamma plus B times beta gamma. In this relation, we set B is equal to 0 and beta it is equal to gamma, then obviously this property holds. Now come to the next property. Property number 4. if we take, now we discuss the property number 4, inner product of alpha A beta, which is equal to A bar alpha beta, where alpha and beta are the elements of vectors and A is the element of field here, where underlying field is here either set of real number or complex number. So the proof of this result is very simple. You can take alpha A beta, it is equal to A beta comma alpha conjugate by using the conjugate symmetric property. Now it is equal to A bar beta comma alpha bar by using the linearity property. This is conjugate symmetry, this is linearity, Rakhikta Gundharm or linearity property. This is equal to A bar, again alpha comma beta. Again we use the conjugate symmetry, hence we have result. But one point is important, if A is your real, because here A is the member of field, this property is true when F is your complex number. But if A is real number, then alpha A beta, this is equal to A alpha beta is true. That is A bar it is equal to A when A is your real number. Now we come to the some examples related to our inner product space. The first well-known example is here V and R. The set of n tuples real number is a vector space with respect to addition and scalar multiplication, is an inner product space. The inner product is defined in this way: x comma y, it is equal to summation I, it is equal to 1 up to n xi yi, where xi belongs to capital X, small x, and yi belongs to small y. That is here, if you take small x n coordinates and small y n coordinates, then inner product of x comma y is nothing but it is your first coordinate multiplied by first, second multiplied by second, and last one is multiplied by last coordinate and sum up. Then this is the inner product. Now we prove that this is inner product space. So if we take xx, then it becomes to the xi square. For summation I, it is equal to 1 up to n. That is, each I is replaced by your xi square. Since x and y is real number, so x is real number, the square is real number, which is obviously greater than 0. So non-negative properties hold here similarly. If we take x comma y, then this is y comma x. The symmetry property is hold. From this relation, we observe that since xi and yi are real number, and we know that every real numbers are commute each other, एक दूसरे से commute करते हैं, so that we can write down yi into xi. So this property is hold. If we take this property, alpha x plus beta y comma z, then obviously this property is true. Alpha x z plus beta y z. So here we observe that the non-negativity is true, symmetric consecutivity is true, linearity is true, hence it is an inner product space. Now this inner product is called Euclidean inner product space. Euclidean inner product space. Now come to the second example. If we consider the set of complex number, Euclidean space, that is V and C, then inner product on this space, vector space is defined by summation I is equal to 1 up to n xi into yi bar, and defined by this term. So obviously again it is greater than 0, symmetric properties hold, non-negative linearity is hold, so it is again an inner product space. The example number 3, P and X is the set of polynomial of degree less than or equal to n is your vector space. Then inner product is defined by integration of alpha 0 to beta 0, the px multiplied by qx into dx, where px and qx both are the element of the p and x. The space of continuous function, the C01 is a vector space, and the inner product defined on this space is f comma g. It is equal to 0 to 1 fx multiplied by gx bar into dx. These are the simple examples of the inner product space, and you can easily prove that this it is your inner product space here. Now we discuss the norm or the length of the vectors in the inner product space. Now let Vf be an inner product space over the field F, inner product space. Now, then the norm is defined by denoted by, it is denoted by the norm of alpha and defined by the norm of alpha. It is equal to under root inner product of alpha and alpha. So obviously it is positive square root, so it should be greater than 0. The geometrical meaning of this, the norm of inner product space is nothing but it is the length of two vectors, and length of two vectors satisfy certain rules. The length is always greater than 0 or equal to 0. Second, the length is commute, length means alpha plus beta, it is equal to beta plus alpha here. Okay, so we take a very simple example to demonstrate this definition. If suppose alpha is 1 comma 2, it is the element of r square, then we compute the norm of alpha, which is positive square root, positive under root of inner product of alpha alpha. Now we compute the inner product of alpha alpha by the definition. It is 1 comma 2, 1 comma 2, that is equal to 1 plus 2 square, that is equal to 5. So this is root over 5. This is your norm of alpha. This is the length on 2 dimension from same point to same point. If this is your norm. Similarly, we define the norm of alpha. If we take alpha, it is equal to 2, 4, 5. Then this is root over 2, 4, 5 with again 2, 4, 5. Then we have 2 square plus 4 square plus 5 square, that is equal to 4 plus 16 plus 25, that is here root over 45. So this is the norm on the 3-dimensional space. Now related to this norm, we prove a very important result, that is called Cauchy-Schwarz inequality. Cauchy-Schwarz inequality. Cauchy-Schwarz inequality. Now, basically, what is a Cauchy-Schwarz inequality? If Pf be an inner product space, then suppose alpha and beta belongs to Vf, the elements of the inner product space, then the modulus of inner product of alpha beta is lesser than or equal to norm of alpha into norm of beta. This inequality is called Cauchy-Schwarz inequality. This is important in the inner product space. The proof of this inequality is very simple. If you take, we have discussed the two cases. In the case 1, we take alpha, it is equal to 0. So obviously the length is 0, norm is 0. Now we take the left hand side part, the inner product of 0 comma beta. So by the property it is 0. So modulus of 0, it is equal to 0, which is less than or equal to 0, because norm of this is 0 into beta, so it is equal to 0. Hence this inequality is true under this condition. Now in the case number 2, we assume that alpha is not equal to 0, that is, it is non-zero vector. So the norm of alpha is non-zero, obviously it is greater than 0. So 1 upon norm of alpha is again not equal to 0, which is obviously greater than 0 here. We have this relation. Now we define a term gamma, which is equal to beta minus inner product of alpha beta whole divided by norm of alpha square multiplied by beta multiplied by alpha, this one. So we explain this. The inner product of alpha beta is your scalar. This is obviously scalar. Okay, so we replace this scalar, inner product of alpha beta upon norm of alpha square, by a constant k. K is your constant, scalar constant. Okay, so this relation can be written as gamma minus k times alpha. Now since k is constant, scalar, alpha is a vector, so just 1 minute. Gamma, it is equal to beta minus k times alpha. So k is your scalar, alpha is vector, so this becomes your vector, and beta is vector. Vector minus vector is again a vector, so that this expression belongs to Vf. This expression belongs to Vf. This expression belongs to Vf. Now here the k is inner product of alpha beta over norm of alpha square. Now we compute the inner product of gamma gamma. So this is beta minus k alpha, beta minus k alpha. Here we substitute the value of gamma and gamma. Now this beta is multiplied by this inner product, beta minus k alpha comma beta minus beta minus k alpha comma k alpha. That is, here we apply the linearity property. This beta is first multiplied by this element, and this minus k alpha is multiplied by this element, so that minus is common here. Okay. Now this is equal to again beta comma beta minus k alpha comma beta minus beta comma k alpha, and this minus and this minus become plus k alpha comma k alpha. In this expression we use the linearity property. Again we solve. Again we solve this expression. Then gamma comma gamma, which is equal to, this is nothing but it is norm of beta square with the definition. K is any scalar, so k is outside the inner product. Then alpha beta minus k bar beta comma alpha plus k into k bar inner product of alpha alpha. Okay. Now Since here k is your inner product of alpha beta by norm of alpha square. So k bar is inner product of alpha beta bar divided by norm of alpha square. Due to the symmetric property, it becomes here beta comma alpha by norm of alpha square. This is your k bar. So we substitute the value of k and k bar in this expression. Here we substitute the value of k and k bar in this expression. Then we have norm of beta square minus k. K means your inner product of alpha beta divided by norm of alpha square minus k bar. K bar is inner product of beta alpha by norm of alpha square plus k into k bar. K into k bar is your norm of alpha into modulus of alpha into, just you can substitute the k into k bar. K is alpha beta over norm of alpha square multiplied by k bar. K bar is beta comma alpha over norm of alpha square multiplied by norm of alpha square. So this alpha square is cancelled out. So you observe that this quantity and this quantity, they are opposite, so it will be cancelled out. Okay, so we have gamma into gamma, inner product of gamma into gamma, it is equal to norm of beta square minus alpha beta, inner product multiplied by alpha beta by norm of alpha square. It is nothing but it is your mod of inner product of alpha beta whole square upon norm of whole square. Now this is obviously greater than or equal to 0 because this inner product is greater than or equal to 0, so that we can multiply, cross multiply like that, this type. The norm of alpha square into norm of beta square minus modulus of alpha beta is greater than or equal to 0. So we have alpha beta is less than or equal to norm of alpha square into norm of beta square. Squaring cancel out both the side. Then we have important result. The inner product of these is less than or equal to norm of alpha into norm of beta. Hence we prove that the Cauchy-Schwarz inequality. Now with the help of this Cauchy-Schwarz inequality, we prove that every inner product space is a normed space. Every inner product space is a normed space. Every inner product space is a non-linear space with the norm defined by positive root over inner product of alpha and alpha. Alpha and alpha. Okay. So it is your normed space. So we need to prove the three important property. First one is we prove that the norm is greater than 0. Second, we prove that the symmetric property. We prove that three important properties for the norm. The first, the norm of alpha is greater than 0. So by the definition, the norm of whole square, it is equal to inner product of alpha alpha. Okay, the inner product of alpha alpha. So obviously it is greater than 0, positive quantity. The second is norm of a alpha. It is equal to a times mod of a times norm of alpha. It is very simple. You can take alpha a into norm a into alpha norm. It is equal to inner product, taking square here, a alpha comma a alpha by the definition of the norm. Then this is a inner product alpha A alpha. So this is A into A bar, inner product alpha alpha. It is nothing but mod of A square into inner product norm of whole square. It is equal to norm of A alpha whole square. Cancel out square both the side. The A alpha, which is equal to mod of A into norm of alpha. The second property is true here. Now third one, we prove that triangle inequality. The norm of alpha plus beta is less than or equal to norm of alpha into norm plus norm of beta. So it is very simple. You can take alpha plus beta whole square, which is equal to inner product of alpha beta comma alpha plus beta by the definition. Using linearity property, alpha comma alpha plus beta comma alpha plus alpha comma beta plus norm of beta square. Okay. Now since this can be written as alpha means norm of alpha square plus norm of beta square plus 2 times real of inner product of alpha beta. Why we are writing the 2 times real of this? Because z plus z bar, it is equal to 2 times real of z. Using this concept here, because this can be written as alpha comma beta conjugate. So instead of alpha plus this is z bar, this one is z, so that it becomes to 2 times real of z. Now which is less than or equal to norm of alpha square plus norm of beta square plus 2 times norm of alpha into norm of beta. Why we are replacing? Because Cauchy-Schwarz inequalities state that the modulus of this quantity is lesser than or equal to norm of alpha into norm of beta. Here norm of alpha plus beta whole square. It is nothing but it is norm of alpha plus norm of beta whole square. Okay, which is equal to norm of alpha plus beta whole square. So the square in square is cancelled, triangle inequality is proved. Hence, we prove that every inner product space is the non-linear space. Thank you.